Hello and welcome to Verbal to Visual Video. I am your host, Doug Neal, and in this episode, we are going to get outside of the classroom, away from the screen, and get the heck out of that conference room so that we can talk about sketchnoting for experiential learners. Let's get into it. When we think about learning environments, what most frequently comes to mind are things like libraries full of books, live events like a conference or a class, or streaming video and audio available whenever you like. Those are all valuable sources of knowledge, but their benefit is also their downside. You are learning from someone else's experience rather than your own. I encourage you to spend as much time, if not more, learning from your own experiences and observations as you do from others. So let's talk about how you can go about doing that. One of the folks that has explored this idea is David Kolb, and he breaks down experiential learning into the following cycle. It starts, no surprise here, with a concrete first-hand experience. You follow that up with some reflective observation, where you look back at your experience and record your own observations. This act of looking back on the experience is just as important as the experience itself, because it allows you to move on to the third step, abstract conceptualization. In this step, you take your experience and your observations and try to pull out some generalized ideas and principles related to that experience, ideas that might hold true in other situations as well. After developing those more generalized ideas, you'll want to test them out, and that's where the fourth step of active experimentation comes in. In this step, you take your ideas and see if they hold true in other situations. Those ideas probably already fit well with your initial experience, but do they fit in others as well? That's what you want to find out, so you experiment in order to test the limits of your idea. After doing that testing, you can begin the cycle once again with another concrete experience that gives you the opportunity to expand on your idea or start exploring another one entirely. This cycle is what experiential learning is all about. Let's now add a layer of sketchnoting to it and see what happens. Within the first two steps of concrete experience and reflective observation, a sketchnoted journal could do you a lot of good. Instead of just writing in a journal, try adding in sketches of your experience and the things you observed, along with diagrams that relate the no doubt many observations that you've made. By giving yourself the freedom to capture your experience with words and with visuals, you make room for deeper insights. Now, depending on what type of experience you're having, you might be able to do some of that sketchnoting in the moment during the experience itself, but you'll likely need to or want to return to that sketchnoted journal and add additional thoughts and observations after the fact. With that sketchnoted journal, you have a fuller way of capturing and reflecting on your initial experience. What you can do next is synthesize those ideas in the abstract conceptualization stage. Pull out the nuggets of truth from that sketchnoted journal and put together a visual summary of those more generalized ideas. That single-page visual summary can be your jumping-off point as you plan out experiments to test your ideas. You can sketch out and then carry out a number of experiments and use the results of those experiments to refine your ideas before jumping into the next cycle of concrete experience. This cycle shows that the benefits of experiential learning, compared to more passive learning environments, stem from the personal engagement that those experiences require, and that often leads to deeper insights and long-lasting learning. I'd argue that each element that you use to capture and process that experience acts as a multiplier of those benefits. Yes, use words to process your ideas. They are no doubt important. But also add in some nonlinear layout to your processing. Incorporate some imagery to activate the already visual nature of the brain, and even build in color to aid your senses further. Sketchnoting is simply the combination of those four elements, which serve as useful tools for those experiential learners out there, those who want to not just consume knowledge from others, but create their own knowledge as well. If that's you, if you are not content with book learning alone, then give this cycle of experiential learning a go and build in that extra layer of sketchnoting to see what it adds to the experience. And if you would like some support along the way, then check out the Verbal to Visual Classroom. There you will find a ton of resources along with a community of individuals that are putting their visual note-taking skills to use in a variety of ways. Check out the links and resources below this video for more information. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.